Welcome to Galactic Conundrums, where the extraordinary meets the unknown. Have you ever wondered if we're truly alone in the universe? Or if an ancient, hidden force is already among us? Picture this: an alien invasion plan fails, not because of our defenses, but because humans are far more resilient than anyone expected, and it all began with a single sip of wine. In this channel, we dive into mind-bending tales like this one where alien species thought they could control humanity through an ancient, seemingly harmless drink, only to discover that we have an insatiable tolerance for the strongest substances in the galaxy. Our journey will take you through shocking UFO sightings, alien encounters, and bizarre stories that will challenge everything you think you know about the universe. Are you ready to uncover the mysteries of the cosmos and explore the conundrums that lie beyond our understanding? Subscribe now and join the conversation. The truth is stranger than fiction, and it's waiting to be discovered. In the vast, dimly lit chamber of the Galactic Council, the atmosphere hums with an otherworldly energy, a ripple of whispers passing through the gathered alien dignitaries. The room is shaped like an ancient amphitheater, with tall, glowing obelisks surrounding a translucent, crystalline podium. Each alien species present is an enigma in itself, with forms that defy the limits of human imagination, beings with many limbs, eyes that shimmer like stars, or exoskeletons that shift in a dim light like creatures from a forgotten abyss. At the center, a gelatinous figure quivers with anticipation: Admiral Xyler. His body, an undulating mass of translucent goo, reflects the eerie glow of the chamber's light. His form pulsates faintly, as if alive with the energy of countless thoughts racing through his mind. He shifts nervously, his appendages flailing slightly, giving off a faint iridescent glow as he adjusts the settings on his voice modulator. His voice, though mechanical and deep, holds a hint of excitement and fear, as though he's teetering on the edge of a great unknown. Xyler clears his best approximation of a throat, though no air is involved. The chamber falls silent. The alien dignitaries, each more bizarre than the last, turn their attention toward him. Some tilt their heads in curiosity, others extend sensory appendages in anticipation, while a few simply bob in quiet indifference. Esteemed members of the council, Xyler begins, his voice reverberating with an unsettling resonance. I present to you a plan unlike any you have ever encountered, a plan to conquer the planet called Earth, without a single shot fired. His words linger in the air, a chill sweeping through the room. A ripple of murmurs runs through the council. Many of the dignitaries exchange skeptical glances. A large mantis-like creature, High Counselor Zor, clicks its mandibles in disbelief. What is this nonsense, Admiral? Zor's voice booms, cold and sharp, the clicking sound echoing off the walls. How do you expect to conquer a planet using something so mundane? Xyler gestures toward his nervous scientific advisor, a tiny creature named Pipsqueak, who, despite his diminutive size, stands tall next to the podium, adjusting his data pad with trembling hands. Xyler's gelatinous appendage hovers near the screen, presenting a holographic image. A fine mist, like a cloud of tiny particles, coalesces into a crystalline image of a strange, round object, a human object. It glows a rich red, as if pulsing with an energy of its own. Wine, Xyler announces, a slight tremor in his voice, the human's most sacred and powerful creation. The room goes deathly silent as the image spins slowly, shimmering in the darkness. They worship this beverage. They store it, age it, and even create entire temples for it. And most importantly, they trust it with their very essence. The image shifts, showing humans celebrating in grand halls, pouring wine from ancient bottles that seem to hum with power, their faces alight with joy and reverence. There is something almost sacred in the way they handle it. But, Admiral, Zor interrupts again, his voice laced with doubt. How does this strange liquid serve as a weapon? What use is it for our conquest? Xyler pauses, his form rippling with tension. He senses the skepticism, but he knows this is the moment of revelation. Humans believe their wine is pure, Xyler continues, so pure, they never suspect it could be tainted. We have developed a compound, one so subtle, so precise, it can blend seamlessly into the very fabric of their most treasured vintage. His voice drops to a near whisper, as though he's revealing an ancient, forbidden truth. We can make them drink it without a single suspicion, and with every drop they consume, we will have them under our control. Pipsqueak nervously pushes a few buttons on his device, and the image flickers, showing a molecular structure, a complicated web of intricate bonds, each linked to the compounds humans call tannins. This, Pipsqueak says softly, his voice trembling, is the compound. It perfectly mirrors the molecular structure of tannins, an essential part of wine. Our mind control agent binds with these molecules, making it utterly undetectable to the human senses. Xyler's gelatinous body ripples with excitement as the final part of his plan unfolds in front of the council. And the best part, he adds, his voice thick with anticipation, the longer they age the wine, the stronger our control over them becomes. The council shifts in their seats. A few dignitaries extend sensory tendrils, visibly intrigued. Some alien species begin shifting colors, bright shades of approval spread through their glowing forms. But surely, Zor's voice cuts through the silence, full of doubt. You believe humans would notice such a manipulation? Their instincts are strong. How can we ensure they will not detect the poison? Xyler smiles, his gelatinous form quivering with pride. That, High Counselor, is the brilliance of this plan. We have tested it, and the compound is undetectable to human senses. They will never know. The council erupts in whispered conversations, a mixture of excitement, doubt, and fascination filling the room. But despite the lingering uncertainty, Xyler's plan is solid and they all feel it, the quiet certainty that this could indeed be the key to humanity's submission. As Xyler steps back, his heart races with anticipation. The journey to conquer Earth without violence, without bloodshed, begins with a simple glass of wine. He can already taste the victory, sweet, subtle, and closer than ever. The moonlight outside the council chamber flickers like distant stars, casting an eerie glow through the corridors of the alien command ship. Inside the heart of the ship, the air hums with anticipation, charged with an almost tangible electricity. In a dimly lit room, Admiral Zyler stands before a large holographic map, the swirling projections revealing Earth's most prestigious wine regions: France, Italy, California, each marked with glowing red dots. Zyler's translucent form pulses with urgency, his gelatinous surface shimmering as the plan unfolds before him. He speaks in low, deliberate tones, a slight quiver betraying his excitement. The agents must blend in, become one with the humans. Their mission begins at the heart of their culture, the vineyards. Where the wine flows, so will our influence. His long, undulating appendage points to the shimmering projections, the lines of connection stretching out to the heart of Earth's wine-producing regions. We must infiltrate their traditions. Walk amongst them. Taste their sacred liquid. And most importantly, taint it. One by one, his agents appear on the holographic display, each disguised in a form designed to slip unnoticed into human society. First, there is Agent Vroop, now wearing the guise of a sommelier, a human wine expert, whose keen eye for the subtleties of taste will be used to mask the true nature of the compound. His sharp, angular form is wrapped in a tailored black suit, his face obscured by the guise of sophistication. He stands tall among humans, a connoisseur of the finest wines, yet his true purpose is to distribute the compound subtly in his interactions, allowing the human palates to absorb the mind control agent unnoticed. Next is Agent Zara, disguised as a vineyard worker, a laborer among the rows of ripened grapes, whose hands are calloused from years of harvesting. She wears a simple, earth-toned outfit, a perfect fit for the rustic lifestyle of a human vineyard. Her appearance is that of a humble worker, a trusted member of the team, but beneath the surface, her true task is much darker. She will infiltrate the very process of winemaking itself, introducing the compound at the earliest stages, ensuring its presence in the wine before it ever touches the human tongue. The vines, the soil, the grapes, they will all unknowingly bear the weight of Zyler's invasion. Zyler's appendage twitches, his eyes, if they could be called eyes, flicker with both pride and a quiet hint of unease. The wine, he murmurs, is their lifeblood. It holds their secrets, their celebrations, their weaknesses. It is their way of connecting with each other and with the earth. They trust it as they trust their own hearts. His voice lowers, as though speaking to a presence beyond the room. And they will never suspect what lies within. The map on the hologram shifts, zooming into specific areas in France: the rolling hills of Bordeaux, where ancient wineries stretch out like emerald seas, and the grand cellars that smell of oak and history. The wine has been aged here for centuries, each bottle a perfect fusion of human care and nature's patience. Zyler's agents will make their way through these hallowed places, unnoticed, as though they belong. They will watch, learn, and wait for the right moment to act. The compound will blend seamlessly into the barrels, waiting to be poured into glasses, ready to seep into the bodies and minds of the unsuspecting. Then, the hologram shifts to Italy, Tuscany, where vineyards stretch beneath the sun-drenched skies, and the scent of fresh grapes fills the air like an intoxicating perfume. It is here, in the heart of Italy's wine country, that the agents will move swiftly, slipping in as visitors, blending with the workers, and quietly adding their mind-altering agent into the mix. The vines will whisper the compound to the very soil, and the humans, drunk on their heritage, will never know the invasion that has begun. Finally, the map zooms in on California, where the sun burns bright over the hills of Napa Valley. Here, the climate is perfect, and the wine flows freely like a river of gold. The agents have prepared for this region's distinct character. The laid-back lifestyle and the constant flow of new wine trends create the perfect cover. The humans here are always looking for the next big thing in wine, something new, something experimental. And that is where the agents will thrive, slipping unnoticed into the wine festivals and tasting rooms, making their way into the glasses of wine held so eagerly by the humans. Zyler's voice echoes in the silent room as he addresses his agents. Remember, subtlety is key. Do not rush. Let the wine age, let the compound seep into the humans' very souls. They will never see it coming. The agents nod in unison, their faces obscured behind their human disguises, yet their readiness is clear. They will become a part of Earth's wine culture, moving like shadows through the vineyards, adding the poison to each bottle, and waiting for the inevitable moment when humanity will begin to succumb to their influence. The mission has begun. The invasion will start not with a scream, but with a sip. A single taste of wine, a drink cherished, revered, and trusted by humans for centuries, will be the key to their undoing. The agents stand at the threshold of their mission, each one cloaked in their human disguises, blending into the world of Earth's wine culture. Yet, beneath their carefully constructed facades, there is an unmistakable sense of unease. The humans, they are not so simple. Their rituals, their conversations, their every gesture, everything about them is an enigma. And for agents like Rivo and Zara, this is a puzzle that proves far harder to solve than they ever anticipated. Rivo stands at the heart of a lavish wine-tasting event, surrounded by humans in fine clothing, their laughter and conversations filling the air with a low hum. The room is bathed in soft, golden light from antique chandeliers, casting gentle shadows on the walls adorned with bottles of exquisite wine. The scent of oak, earth, and aged grapes hangs heavy in the air. Rivo, disguised as a well-dressed wine critic, holds a glass of deep red wine, its surface reflecting the warm glow of the room. His fingers tremble slightly, not from fear but from the growing realization that he has no true understanding of this human ritual. The wine connoisseurs around him swirl their glasses expertly, their eyes closed as they inhale deeply, savoring the delicate aromas. Their words flow like poetry, hints of blackberry and tobacco, one mutters. A bouquet of leather and spice, another whispers. Rivo's mind races, his alien senses unable to detect such subtleties. He can smell only the alcohol, the faintest trace of something fermented, but nothing more. His lips part as he listens to the endless descriptions, each one more intricate than the last. What do these humans feel when they taste this? He wonders. The time to speak is near. Rivo must offer his analysis, a judgment that will blend him seamlessly into this human world. The pressure is mounting. His mouth moves, but the words are wrong. I detect a faint essence of grape, he stammers, his voice cracking under the weight of his failure. The other critics pause, their eyes narrowing as they regard him with mild amusement. A few exchange knowing glances. His throat tightens. The wine, once a symbol of his power, now mocks him. His hands tremble as he raises the glass to his lips again, trying to force himself to find what the humans sense, but he only tastes bitterness and alcohol. Ah, yes, he adds quickly, desperate to fill the silence, and perhaps a slight note of more grape. The words spill out awkwardly, a poorly executed imitation of their sophisticated language. The humans around him smile politely, but the laughter in their eyes is unmistakable. This will not do, Rivo thinks. His cover is slipping. And the compound, hidden deep within the wine, waits patiently for its moment to strike. But the human connection, the one thing that would allow him to move undetected, is slipping through his fingers. Rivo knows he must adapt or risk exposing his true nature. He can only hope that his mission won't fall apart before he truly begins. Meanwhile, across the room, Zara's mission unfolds with an equally mystifying difficulty. The vineyard lies under a blanket of morning mist, a quiet silence hovering over the sprawling fields of vines. The air smells of damp earth, and the distant hum of bees can be heard as they flit between the flowers. Zara, disguised as a worker, stands at the foot of an old grape crusher. Its gears are large and intimidating, an archaic machine that demands precision and strength. She is supposed to fit and become part of the team, but she is a creature of strange anatomy, her limbs not designed for the work at hand. Her task is simple, at least on the surface, to crush the grapes, to press the fruits into pulp, and to ensure the compound is introduced into the wine at this early stage. Yet, the machine refuses to cooperate with her. Her alien hands, though agile, are not made for this earthbound task. She reaches for the lever, but as she pulls, the machine lurches forward with a loud, groaning screech. The vine press begins to vibrate, a sound too loud, too unnatural for the quiet vineyard. Zara's heart skips a beat. The workers nearby glance over, their expressions unreadable, but their attention shifts, as if sensing something out of place. The last thing she needs is for the humans to discover her true identity. She tries again, this time gripping the lever with both hands, her body tense as she attempts to apply the right amount of pressure. But the more she pushes, the more the machine groans in protest, each movement threatening to break the delicate rhythm of the vineyard. A nearby worker, an older man with a face weathered by the sun, looks over with a bemused expression. "You sure you know how to handle that, Barbara?" he asks, his voice tinged with skepticism. Zara smiles, though it feels forced. "Oh, yes," she replies, her words coming out stiff, "just getting used to the machine." The man nods slowly, but his eyes linger on her for a moment longer than necessary. Zara feels a bead of sweat form on the back of her neck, the pressure mounting. She knows she must act fast. If the humans grow suspicious, it will be the end of her mission. She pulls again, the machine creaking as the first signs of juice trickle from the crushed grapes. With a deep breath, Zara turns back to the crushing machine, her mind focused entirely on the task at hand. She must be patient, precise. Her alien nature, her knowledge of the compound's power, can only succeed if she is able to keep her cover intact. The slow trickle of juice, the rhythmic press of the machine, it is all part of a dance she must learn, even if every movement feels foreign, every action a struggle. Her heart races. The vineyard workers are still watching, but they say nothing more. She knows they are wary, sensing the oddity in her presence, but they also need the help. For now, she remains undisturbed. The wine flows, the compound mixes, and all she can do is hope the process will go unnoticed long enough for the mission to succeed. Both agents, Rivo with his failed analysis and Zara with her clumsy attempts at blending in, are learning the harsh reality of their mission. The humans, in all their ordinary complexity, are far more difficult to manipulate than they first imagined. And in their struggle to maintain their cover, the agents realize just how much is at stake: their mission, their purpose, and the very fate of their invasion. The moon rises high over the vineyards of Earth, casting a silvery glow across the sprawling fields. The air is thick with the scent of crushed grapes, their sweetness hanging like an unseen veil in the stillness of the night. In the distance, the clinking of glass bottles echoes faintly as the agents move stealthily through the shadows, their forms concealed beneath a veneer of ordinary workers. Each step they take is deliberate, measured, and filled with the unspoken tension of their mission. The wine, now laced with a mind-controlled compound, waits patiently in the barrels, dark, rich, and deceptively innocent. The agents, having infiltrated the heart of Earth's most revered wine regions, France, Italy, and California, have completed their task. They have watched the grapes grow, ripen, and eventually succumb to their fate. Now, the poison is in the wine. It has mingled with the very essence of the drink, slipping unnoticed into the delicate balance of tannins, acids, and sugars. It is subtle, so subtle, in fact, that to the untrained eye, the wine seems unchanged, untainted. But beneath the surface, the compound waits, ready to take control. In France, where the cool night air carries the scent of ancient cellars, Agent Vroop stands before a row of oak barrels. The wooden lids creak softly as he slides them open, the smell of aged wine filling the air. His alien hands move with practiced precision, ensuring that each barrel receives its proper dose of the compound. He fills the bottles one by one, the deep red liquid glistening in the dim light. Each bottle seems to shimmer with an almost imperceptible energy, as though it is alive with an intention far beyond its earthly origins. The wine is now perfect, rich, complex, and utterly innocuous to the human eye. Yet, within each drop lies the key to their control. The bottles are carefully sealed, labeled with the insignia of human craftsmanship, and ready for distribution. Vroop steps back, his elongated limbs trembling with the weight of what he has done. The humans will never know what lies within. They will drink, unaware, and in doing so, they will lose themselves, their minds slipping into the hands of those who wait in the shadows. In Italy, the vineyards stretch under the fading glow of twilight. The hills of Tuscany, with their golden vines, seem timeless, unchanging as they have been for centuries. Agent Zara, disguised as a vineyard worker, moves silently among the rows of grapes, blending in seamlessly with the earthbound workers. She is careful, meticulous, as she ensures that the compound is introduced at every possible stage of the wine-making process. It is not enough for the agent to merely taint the wine once it is bottled. No, the poison must enter the very roots of the vines themselves. With a quiet hum, Zara crouches down to the soil, the earth cool beneath her hands. She opens a small, concealed vial, pouring the compound into the soil where it can seep into the very heart of the vineyard. The ground absorbs it like a sponge, the compound burrowing deep into the earth, finding its way into the roots, the vines, and eventually, the grapes. When the time comes, the wine produced here will be laced not only with the compound but with an essence that begins before the very first grape is crushed. The earth shivers under her touch, as if acknowledging the dark transformation taking place. Zara rises, glancing over her shoulder, and continues on her way, careful not to draw attention to herself. She is only a worker, yet in this moment, she has become the creator of something far more sinister. In California, the warm winds of Napa Valley carry the sounds of distant chatter and laughter from nearby wine festivals. The region is filled with a bustling energy, the vineyards alive with human activity. Agent Rivo moves among them, blending effortlessly into the crowd of wine enthusiasts. His alien eyes scan the faces of the humans, their excitement palpable as they taste new vintages, oblivious to the poison now coursing through the very drink they cherish. Rivo, disguised as a seasoned wine critic, watches as the bottles are uncorked and poured into glasses. The compound in the wine is now activated, but the results remain hidden beneath the surface of the rich, ruby liquid. A dark tide stirs, waiting for the right moment to rise. Humans sip and swirl, their eyes closing as they savor the taste, but Rivo knows it is only a matter of time before the compound begins to take hold. Slowly, methodically, the wine works its way into their systems. It seeps into their minds like a shadow, unnoticed at first, but soon to spread, unraveling the delicate threads of human thought. As he watches, Rivo's thoughts turn to Zyler. The agents have done their part. The wine is now out of their hands. But the question remains, will it work? Will the humans drink, and will they succumb to the compound, or will they simply enjoy their wine, oblivious to the dark magic hidden within? Back on the command ship, Admiral Zyler stands before the observation screens, his gelatinous form quivering in the dim light. His alien senses are stretched to their limits, reaching across the vast distance to the vineyards of Earth. He watches as the agents report their success. The wine is distributed, the compound now mingling with the essence of Earth's culture. Zyler waits, his mind racing as the hours stretch on. Nothing happens at first. The humans drink, laugh, and enjoy the festivities of their wine festivals. Zyler's impatience grows. Why hasn't it worked? The compound was designed to be perfect, undetectable, potent. Yet, the humans seem unaffected. The wine is drunk, but their minds remain their own. His eyes flicker with growing concern. Has he underestimated them? But then, slowly, very slowly, the first signs begin to appear. A man in a vineyard, long after the last bottle has been consumed, begins to sway. His steps become uncertain. A woman at a festival leans closer to her companion, whispering something she would never have said before, something strange, unnatural, as if the words have slipped from her lips without her will. Zyler watches, his pulse quickening. It's happening. The compound is working, but at its own pace. The control is subtle, like a whisper in the dark, so faint at first that the humans cannot even sense it. But it will grow. Soon, they will be his. The first signs of control are just the beginning. The agents have done their work. The wine is now the key to Earth's fate. And Zyler, hidden in the shadows of his command ship, smiles to himself, waiting for the final moment when humanity will fall under his influence, one sip at a time. The night stretches out over Sydney, the skyline illuminated by the shimmering light of fireworks, each burst painting the sky in vivid, colorful streaks. Below, in a lavish, moonlit hall overlooking the harbor, the New Year's Eve party pulses with energy. The air is thick with the sound of laughter and music, the clink of glasses, and the joyful hum of anticipation as humans celebrate the turning of another year. The room itself is an opulent sight. Silver chandeliers hang from the high ceiling, casting soft, flickering shadows across polished floors. Tables groan under the weight of decadent food and glistening bottles of wine. The aroma of aged oak, ripe fruit, and spices fills the air, the very essence of Earth's finest vineyards. But for the alien agents who watch this revelry from the hidden corners of the room, there is no joy. There is only uncertainty. There is only the quiet hum of concern, growing steadily louder with each passing moment. Rivo stands at the edge of the crowd, his alien form concealed beneath the polished facade of a human critic. His eyes flicker nervously over the guests, observing the wine as it is poured into glass after glass, each sip taken with an eagerness that should, by all calculations, lead to the beginning of their control. But the guests, these humans, do not show the signs he had expected. They are not silent, passive, or distant. They are exuberant, loud, and full of life. The compound, the perfect agent of influence, is supposed to have worked by now. They should have felt it, the slow, creeping grasp of the mind-control compound, gently guiding their will, bending them into submission. But nothing has happened. Instead, they continue drinking, laughing, and singing louder than before. They raise their glasses high, toasts echoing through the hall, each clink of glass a sound that rings with a sweet symphony of unrestrained freedom. The music begins to swell an upbeat tempo that rattles the floor beneath their feet. A group of humans, Their cheeks flushed with merriment, form a circle and start dancing with wild abandon. Their bodies move freely, without restraint, swaying in time to the beat, their voices joining in a chorus of drunken joy. Each step is carefree, their spirits high. They seem to be growing more animated with every sip, more alive, more themselves, the opposite of what the alien agents had intended. Zara, disguised as a vineyard worker, watches from the far corner of the room. Her eyes narrow as she scans the crowd, her mind racing. The compound had been introduced with precision. They had made sure to ensure that every drop was perfect, that every bottle was laced with the agent. Yet, despite the wine's potent blend, the humans remain untouched, their behavior unchanged. Zara's pulse quickens as a familiar sense of confusion begins to swell inside her. Why isn't it working? She thinks, her mind struggling to find an answer. A woman near the center of the room raises her glass again, and the others cheer, clinking their glasses together. The sound is a burst of joy, ringing out like a triumphant declaration. But the alien agents hear only a loud, harsh echo in their ears. It is as if the humans are mocking them, basking in their freedom, laughing in the face of the compound's subtle poison. Rivo takes a deep breath, his hands trembling as he adjusts his human disguise. He had been so sure. So sure this would work. They had studied the humans, learned their habits, and crafted the perfect weapon. The wine, the very lifeblood of their culture, should have subdued them. But the humans seem more alive than ever. In a nearby corner, a group of men begin a boisterous chant, raising their glasses high above their heads. Their voices clash in harmony, lifting the room to a fever pitch. Someone shouts out, "To the new year," and the crowd roars in agreement. The sound surges, swelling like an unstoppable wave, sweeping through the partygoers, their faces alight with joy, their laughter a spontaneous outburst of unfiltered emotion. Zara's eyes flit to Rivo, who is staring at the crowd with growing desperation. He can sense the failure, just as she does. The wine should have done its work by now. But it hasn't. Instead, it seems to have become a catalyst for the opposite effect. The more they drink, the more alive they become. Why? From across the room, a young woman sways to the music, singing at the top of her lungs, her laughter spilling out between words. She lifts her glass again, tipping it back, draining the last of the wine. Her eyes sparkle as the lights twinkle in her reflection. "This is the best vintage yet," she shouts to her friends, her voice full of reckless abandon. The others around her cheer, raising their glasses in agreement, completely oblivious to the fact that they are drinking the very substance designed to enslave them. Zara's heart sinks. She thought she had been careful. She had followed every instruction, every detail of the plan. But the wine, it's making them stronger. She watches as a man, his cheeks flushed with color, pushes his way through the crowd, laughing wildly. He trips over his feet and stumbles but catches himself in time, chuckling with an exaggerated sense of joy. A moment of clumsiness, followed by the eruption of carefree laughter. It is the opposite of what the agents had expected. They had wanted control, not chaos. Rivo turns to Zara, his eyes wide with confusion. "This wasn't supposed to happen," he murmurs, his voice barely audible over the clamor of the party. "The wine, it was supposed to bend them, not make them stronger." The agents exchange uncertain glances, a shared sense of growing panic between them. What had gone wrong? They were the pinnacle of preparation, their plan flawless, but this was not what they had expected. The humans were not succumbing to the compound. They were thriving. A distant laugh rings out. The sound is high-pitched and carefree, echoing through the hall, rising above the din of music and chatter. It seems to mock the agents from the shadows, a harsh reminder that they are not in control. They had underestimated humanity and now, they must face the consequences. Rivo stands frozen, his mind a swirl of questions. Zara, too, is trapped in the same storm of doubt. The compound was perfect. The agents had done their part, but the humans are not the submissive, docile creatures they had been prepared to conquer. Instead, they are wild, free, and full of life, savoring every drop, laughing, dancing, and singing as though the very fabric of their existence depends on it. And for the first time, the alien agents realize perhaps it is they who are the ones being controlled. Equals 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 equals. Scene 6. Buck Williams discovers the truth. The dim light of Buck Williams' study casts long shadows over the rows of aging bottles, their labels worn and faded from years of careful storage. The air smells faintly of earth, of aged wood, and of the unmistakable musk of fine wine. Buck stands in the center of the room, a glass of the 2024 vintage held delicately in his hand. He swirls the deep red liquid, watching it twist and dance in the glass. The wine moves like liquid velvet, rich and inviting, yet something about it seems off. He leans in, inhaling deeply, his senses sharp as ever. The familiar aromas of oak, dark berries, and leather are there, yes, but there is something more. Something elusive, something he cannot quite place. A faint undertone of spice lingers, not the typical notes of clove or cinnamon, but something more, unsettling, like an ancient memory buried deep within the wine's essence. It's almost as if the wine has been infused with something alive, something that stirs within it. Buck's brow furrows in concentration. He swirls the glass again, the liquid catching the light, flashing ruby red. The scent intensifies, drawing him in. What is that? It's unfamiliar yet strangely familiar, like a melody heard in a distant dream, just on the edge of recognition. He leans closer, inhaling again, his mind working feverishly to make sense of what he is smelling. He takes a small sip, letting the wine settle on his tongue. The moment the liquid touches his mouth, a shock of something new rushes over him, a warmth, a smoothness that lingers longer than it should. His senses are flooded. The flavors explode in his mouth: ripe blackberries, smoky oak, and something else. Something strange, something that doesn't belong. It is not overpowering, but it is undeniable. The taste dances across his palate with an almost ethereal quality, like a fleeting thought he can't quite grasp. Buck pulls back, his eyes narrowing. No. This isn't just wine. Something has been added to it, something subtle, yet powerful. He places the glass down on the table, his fingers still trembling slightly as he examines the swirling liquid. It was supposed to be a simple tasting, just another bottle of the 2024 vintage to evaluate. But this is something entirely different. He reaches for his notebook, the pages worn with years of tasting notes and scribbled thoughts. But this time, his hand shakes with a strange excitement. He starts to write, his pen flowing quickly across the paper as his mind races. 2024 vintage, an unexpected revelation, he writes. At first glance, this wine presents itself as the usual delight of oak, fruit, and spice. But there is something more, something hidden beneath the surface that I can't quite put into words. A depth, a complexity that seems to shift and change with every sip. Buck pauses, staring at the page. He could call it a fluke, a mistake in the aging process, or a rare variation in the grapes. But something in the back of his mind tells him this isn't a mistake. This is deliberate. He scribbles again, trying to capture the strange quality that has taken hold of his senses. Hints of something alien? No, that sounds absurd. But the way it flows, the way it lingers. It's as if this wine has been enhanced. With what? I can't say. But it's definitely not just a normal vintage. A chuckle escapes him as he reads over his words. The idea seems ludicrous. Alien? What am I thinking? He wonders, shaking his head. But deep down, a strange thrill lingers in his chest. The wine has captured him, not just with its flavor, but with its mystery. Whatever it is, it's unlike anything he has tasted before. He pours himself another glass, his mind working rapidly. Could it be possible? Could the wine have been altered in some way intentionally, subtly? The flavor has changed, yes, but not in a way that should be alarming. It's intriguing, even captivating. He's never had a wine quite like it before. But there's no sign of tampering, no overt signs of contamination. He takes another sip, and this time, something different happens. His thoughts begin to feel clearer, sharper, as if the wine is not only awakening his senses, but enhancing them. The faint taste of something foreign begins to draw more distinct shapes in his mind, a sensation that seems almost too perfect, too crafted, too deliberate. Buck sets the glass down again, his heart beginning to race with excitement. This is it, he thinks. This is what I've been waiting for. The perfect wine. His mind begins to churn, the mystery swirling as if he's caught in its undertow. Without hesitation, Buck grabs his phone and begins typing his review, his fingers moving faster than his mind can fully process. 2024 vintage, a mind-altering experience, unlike anything I've encountered. The layers of flavor are deep, but there's something more, something that hits the palate with an almost magical touch. An enhancement that goes beyond mere taste. He pauses. Could it be the aging process? Or is there something more at play here? Buck leans back in his chair, taking another long look at the glass in front of him. His mind races with the possibilities, the strange sensation that something unknown, something powerful, is subtly working its way into the very core of his thoughts. A shiver runs down his spine as a faint smile plays across his lips. He writes one final sentence, the words flowing with a certainty he can't explain. This vintage is unlike any other. It feels transformative, as though it has unlocked something deeper inside me. A wine that doesn't just satisfy the senses, but changes them. He pauses before clicking send on the review. The words linger on the screen, almost as if they were alive, glowing with a strange energy. Buck Williams leans back, staring at the glass in front of him. For the first time in his career, he knows he has discovered something extraordinary. But what he doesn't realize is that the mystery of the wine is far deeper than he could ever imagine. The darkness of space presses in on the command center, a cold, indifferent vastness that feels both infinite and suffocating. Inside the chamber, Zyler's gelatinous form pulses with nervous energy, glowing faintly in the dim light. The walls hum with the low vibrations of alien technology, their soft whirring in unsettling contrast to the silence that fills the room. Zyler stands before a series of holographic screens, each one flickering with the latest reports from his agents on Earth. His mind races as he watches the data trickle in, his heart beating faster with every passing moment. Something is wrong. Something he can't yet grasp, but it's there lurking beneath the surface of every report. His appendages twitch in frustration as he scans the glowing figures, his eyes, if they could be called eyes, flashing rapidly between them. The numbers are all wrong. The wine should have worked, he thinks desperately. The compound should have begun its influence by now. Why are the humans not succumbing to it? The first report comes in from Vroop, still at the wine festival in Sydney, his voice modulator crackling through the speaker. Admiral Zyler, the wine has been consumed in large quantities, and the humans, they are enjoying it. A long pause follows, and then the words spill out. They are drinking more than ever before. They are laughing, singing, dancing. There are no signs of the compound taking effect. No change in behavior. Nothing. Zyler's form shudders with a silent ripple, the panic seeping into his very cells. What do you mean, nothing? His mind reels with disbelief. This couldn't be right. The compound had been flawless, perfectly calibrated, carefully developed. How could it fail so completely? Next, a report from Zara, her voice tinged with confusion. The wine has been introduced to the vineyard workers here in Italy. They've tasted it, and, well, they are savoring it. Complimenting its rich complexity, its depth. I've never seen them so enthusiastic. The usual quiet workers are now talking about it with excitement. They are delighted by its taste, almost intoxicated by its richness. The compound has had no effect. It's as if they are being further awakened by it. Zyler's form ripples again, the reality of the situation settling in like a cold weight pressing down on him. Further awakened? His heart sinks. It's supposed to subdue them, to make them pliable, easy to manipulate. Instead, the wine has made them more vibrant, more alive, more human than ever before. The complex, layered flavors of the wine were meant to be the vehicle of control, the subtle agent to make them docile, to bind them to his will. Instead, it has enhanced them. Zara's voice continues in the background, unaware of the growing panic in Zyler's mind. I've never seen anything like it, Admiral. They've started discussing the wine with such fervor, as though they've unlocked some long-forgotten secret. Some claim it's as if the wine is speaking to them, guiding them toward deeper understanding. One even compared it to an ancient elixir that brings clarity. Zyler clutches his form together, trying to steady himself. His breath, if it could be called that, comes in shallow pulses, each one filled with disbelief. This was impossible. He had checked every variable, accounted for every detail. The wine was supposed to serve as an instrument of control, a silent takeover disguised in a seemingly innocent drink. And yet, the humans seemed to be reveling in it, as if they had stumbled upon something extraordinary. Something ancient. Another report flashes onto the screen, this time from Rivo, who had been observing the wine tasting in California. His voice is tinged with confusion and a growing sense of panic. The humans here, they are praising the wine as the finest they've ever had. They are not just drinking it, they are studying it. Some are even writing down tasting notes, comparing it to some of the most revered wines from history. They are tasting flavors I didn't even know existed, talking about the layers of complexity in a way that no normal human should. This is not what we intended. Zyler's form shudders again, a ripple of unease spreading through his body. He stares at the glowing reports, his mind struggling to process the data, to make sense of the failure unraveling before him. This wasn't supposed to happen. The compound was supposed to work quietly, seamlessly, guiding the humans into a haze of submission. Instead, it had injected their senses with a heightened awareness, a newfound appreciation for the wine that only seemed to amplify their senses, their passions. In his desperation, Zyler reaches for the console, his trembling appendages hovering over the buttons. The reports flood in one after another, confirming his fears. Each one is filled with more confusion, more bafflement. Every agent reports the same thing: the wine is not subduing the humans. It is awakening them. Awakening them? Zyler recoils, the meaning of the words sinking in like a dark tide. This was no simple failure of the planet, was something far more insidious. The humans were not simply unaffected. They were thriving, becoming more attuned to the very thing he had hoped would control them. The wine had transformed into something that freed them, that fed their senses, their minds, their very souls. His mind races for an explanation, but none comes. He grips the console tightly, the weight of the failure pressing down on him like a suffocating force. The wine, the perfect tool for domination, has failed. It has instead become a catalyst for human celebration, for their culture's deepest instincts. The humans were more alive than ever, their minds more active, their senses sharper. Zyler's form trembles in a final, silent realization. The wine wasn't their tool for control. It was their weapon against us. And in that moment, he knows the truth. He has miscalculated, underestimated the resilience and adaptability of humanity. What was meant to be their downfall has instead become their greatest triumph. The Galactic Council chamber, once filled with anticipation, now hums with an eerie, uncomfortable silence. The alien dignitaries shift in their seats, their many eyes locked on Jack Wilder, Earth's representative, who stands confidently at the center of the room. His presence seems almost out of place amidst the alien beings, human, yet undeniably different. He exudes a calm assurance, his sharp gaze unfazed by the weight of the eyes upon him. In his hand, he holds a small glass, a simple vessel that seems almost too mundane for such an important moment. Yet, Jack Wilder knows exactly how powerful this small glass is, and what it represents. He raises the glass to the light, allowing it to catch the gleam of the chamber's strange, shifting illumination. The liquid inside is clear, almost ethereal, its purity deceptive, for those who know what it truly is. A drink that has been the cause of countless revelries, accidents, and wild nights, vodka. Without hesitation, Jack takes a small sip, the sharp, burning liquid trailing down his throat with the same ease he has experienced countless times before. He sets the glass down slowly, allowing the warmth to settle in his chest before turning to face the council. To understand humanity, Jack begins, his voice steady and unshaken, you need to understand this. He motions toward the glass, and then to the empty spaces around him, his voice growing firmer. This drink, like others on my planet, is far more than just a simple intoxicant. It is a symbol of what humans are capable of enduring. And it's something you clearly underestimated. The alien council shifts uncomfortably, their many limbs and sensory tendrils curling slightly in confusion. Some of them, having never encountered Earth's potent beverages firsthand, exchange quiet murmurs among themselves. They have heard of Earth's alcohol culture, of course, but they never considered it a serious threat. Jack's eyes scan the room, his gaze piercing through the enigmatic beings that make up the council. What you've failed to realize, he continues, is that humanity has an extraordinary tolerance for things that would incapacitate others. As he speaks, he begins pacing slowly, the weight of his words sinking in. This, he says, holding up the vodka, is nothing compared to what humans consume on a regular basis. This is a drink that burns. But to humans, it's just another part of our culture. We drink it for fun, for celebration, for camaraderie. And we drink it to forget, to escape, or simply to embrace the moment. A ripple of confusion spreads through the room. The alien beings exchange uncertain glances. They are used to beings with controlled limits, susceptible to external influences. To hear this from Jack Wilder is both surprising and unsettling. And then there's tequila, Jack adds, his voice growing more intense. A drink so strong, it's been known to make people do things they wouldn't normally do, like dance with strangers or sing in public. Some say it's a way for humans to break free of their own inhibitions. But the real truth is this tequila, like vodka, is just another drink in a long list of strong, unrelenting beverages we consume with ease. He pauses, letting the words sink into the chamber like the burning sting of alcohol itself. You think your mind-controlled compound, which you so meticulously placed into our wine, is a tool that could sway humanity's will. But it's nothing compared to what we've built tolerance to. Vodka, tequila, moonshine, these are drinks that could make your most powerful compounds look like water. The council members exchange even more uncertain glances now. One of the larger beings, whose many eyes flicker with interest, raises an appendage, clearly agitated. You mean to say that your species can consume substances far stronger than our most potent mind-altering compounds, without any ill effect? The words hang in the air, laced with disbelief. Exactly, Jack responds with a small, knowing smile. Humans drink these with ease. We even make a sport of it. And we take pride in our ability to handle stronger and stronger drinks, because we see it as a challenge. We build a tolerance to things that most species couldn't even fathom enduring. Another council member, a sleek, insect-like creature with long, flowing antennae, shifts uneasily in its seat. But, how is this possible? Such resilience. Such endurance. You say that your species thrives on these substances. Jack nods, his expression now one of quiet conviction. Yes. You underestimated our ability to handle not just alcohol, but substances that alter the mind. Our capacity for tolerance, both physical and mental, is unparalleled. The human body has adapted, evolved even, to withstand and process these substances without faltering. A moment of stunned silence falls over the council. Their many eyes flicker with a dawning realization of their mistake. The plan, so carefully crafted and executed, had failed in the most unexpected way. The mind-controlled compound they had so confidently placed in Earth's wine was ineffective, not because it lacked potency, but because the humans could simply tolerate it. The compound had no power over them. Instead, it was the wine itself, the human connection to the drink, that had made them stronger, more resistant, more alive. Jack stands tall before them, his gaze unwavering. I told you that this would be different. Humanity is not easily controlled by outside forces, especially when it comes to something as ingrained in our culture as alcohol. You wanted to tame us with a glass of wine, but all you've done is enhance what already exists. You've underestimated our resilience. And now, it's too late. A subtle shift moves through the council as realization sets in. Some members blink rapidly, their forms flickering with disbelief. Others stare at Jack with a mix of awe and frustration, the weight of their failure pressing heavily on their shoulders. Jack Wilder takes a deep breath, his next words sharp and clear. You wanted to change us. But now, you've learned the truth. We are not so easily bent, not so easily broken. Your compound didn't weaken us. It gave us strength. And in doing so, you've only sealed your defeat. As the council members fall into an uneasy silence, Jack's words echo through the chamber. A quiet hum fills the air, a sound of realization settling over the beings who once believed their plan was flawless. They had hoped to dominate, to subdue. But in the end, it was humanity's most celebrated tradition, its love for strong drinks, that had turned the tables. The council chamber is thick with tension, the silence pressing heavily against the alien dignitaries as they absorb the weight of their failure. Their many eyes flicker between one another, their forms wriggling and shifting with the unsettling sensation of being outwitted. The grand plan, once brilliant in its complexity, lies in ruins. The humans had proven too resilient, too resourceful. The wine, intended to be a tool of subjugation, had instead become an enigma, one that left the aliens grappling for a solution, staring into the void of their own mistakes. Jack Wilder stands before them, calm and composed, his expression as unwavering as ever. He knows the moment is ripe for a new idea, one that will turn this failure into something far more profitable. He stands tall, his hand resting lightly on the podium, a small, knowing smile curling at the edges of his lips as he surveys the alien council. We've seen what's happened, Jack says, his voice smooth and confident. Your mind-control compound? It didn't work on us. But what I think you've missed in all this is the potential of what you've actually created. You've made something special. The aliens blink, some in confusion, others in reluctant curiosity. Xyler, still recovering from the shock of the plan's failure, shifts his gelatinous form uncomfortably, his eyes narrowing at Jack's words. What are you implying, human? He asks, his voice cold and cautious. Jack leans forward slightly, his tone turning persuasive, almost coaxing. What if I told you that instead of trying to dominate humanity, you could collaborate with us? What if we could take your mind-controlled wine, turn it into a luxury product, and sell it in intergalactic markets, create an entirely new industry, one that could benefit both our species? The room falls still, the hum of the chamber's artificial lights almost too loud. The alien council members exchange glances, their many eyes flickering with uncertainty. Jack knows they've been backed into a corner, and this is his moment to offer them a lifeline, a new path forward. Think about it, Jack continues, his voice smooth as he paces slowly across the room. You've made something unlike any other beverage in the galaxy. This wine, laced with your compound, has effects far beyond what you intended. It doesn't control us, it enhances us. The taste, the complexity, it's like nothing we've ever experienced before. It's addictive in the most sophisticated way. The council listens intently now, the subtle shift in their postures signaling a growing interest. Jack senses the change, the door to collaboration beginning to creak open. Instead of using it to manipulate, why not market it as a luxury drink? Premium, rare, sought after. We can sell it at galactic festivals, to the highest bidders. Imagine the allure, the mystery, the exclusivity. Only those who can afford it will experience its enhanced effects. The atmosphere in the chamber grows tense, yet electric, as Jack's words take root. The aliens are not accustomed to the concept of profit from something so personal as their mind control agent, but the idea of entering the market, of capitalizing on their failure in such a way, has its allure. A long, insectoid creature at the far end of the room clicks its mandibles thoughtfully, then speaks in a low, disinterested tone. And you propose what? That we simply hand over our technology to be used for profit in your primitive markets. Jack stops pacing, his eyes locking with the aliens. I'm not asking you to give anything away, he replies smoothly. I'm suggesting a partnership. You, with your advanced technology and knowledge, and us, with our vast, untapped markets. Earth can be the distribution hub for your wine and galactic trade. We'll handle the logistics, the branding, the promotion. All you need to do is supply the product. The room hums with a new energy, the idea beginning to take shape in the minds of the council members. Jack continues, each word laced with certainty. Intergalactic festivals, elite gatherings, and high-profile events. All the richest beings in the galaxy will want to get their hands on a bottle. Earth's history with wine is long and prestigious. With your enhancement, it will be revered even more. It'll become a symbol of luxury, a status symbol like no other. People will crave it, beg for it. Xyler's gelatinous form ripples, his many limbs twisting uneasily. It's clear he's considering Jack's words more seriously now. And what of the humans? He asks, voice tinged with suspicion. You expect them to accept being merely consumers, not the pawns we intended? Jack smiles, his eyes gleaming with quiet confidence. Trust me, they'll love it. Humans love indulgence. We love luxury. And we love a good story. We'll sell the experience, the mystery behind your wine. People will want to drink it, knowing the story behind it. And as for control, well, that'll be the secret no one knows. The wine will give them a subtle high, not a submission. It will be a luxury, a rare pleasure that they'll seek out again and again. The council members look to one another, the quiet murmur of voices filling the room. Some exchange long, thoughtful stares, while others appear intrigued by the concept of entering the market in such an unexpected way. Slowly, the realization spreads across them like a wave. We could sell it under the guise of an elite experience, one council member finally says, its voice almost reverent. An experience unlike any other in the universe. Jack nods, his smile widening. Exactly. An Earth's wine industry or enhanced wine could dominate the market. A premium product unlike anything else. The room is silent again, as the weight of Jack's proposal settles over the council like a heavy mist. One by one, the council members begin to nod, the idea beginning to take hold in their collective consciousness. Zyler, still uncertain but increasingly intrigued, finally speaks. You think this will work? Jack's smile deepens, and with a knowing glint in his eyes, he simply responds, I know it will. And just like that, the plan begins to shift. What was once a bold invasion has now been transformed into a lucrative partnership, one that will bring unimaginable wealth to both Earth and the alien races. The failure of the original plan is now forgotten, replaced by the promise of a new, prosperous venture that no one had anticipated. And in the silence that follows, Jack Wilder knows the truth. Humanity has just gained a new kind of power. Not through control, but through collaboration and commerce. The night is electric with the hum of alien voices, laughter, and the soft clinking of glasses. Earth's skyline glimmers beneath a starlit sky, a city transformed for one night into a bustling, vibrant marketplace where the unknown and the familiar intertwine. The first ever Intergalactic Wine and Spirits Festival has begun, and the air is thick with an intoxicating blend of anticipation and awe. The venue, a massive, gleaming dome that rises above the city like a crystalline jewel, pulses with energy. Inside, the atmosphere is unlike any Earthling event before it. The space is filled with creatures from distant planets, beings with translucent skin that shifts like water, others with multiple appendages, each more bizarre than the last. The scent of Earth's finest wines mingles with the aromas of alien delicacies, creating a heady perfume that seems to alter the very fabric of the air itself. In the center of the grand hall, a long, sleek bar stretches out, crafted from a strange material that seems to shimmer with an otherworldly light. Alien attendees hover around it, curious and cautious, their many eyes drinking in the strange new offerings before them. Holographic displays flicker on the walls, detailing the finest wines of Earth, vintages from Bordeaux, Tuscany, Napa Valley, but among them, a special display stands out, the mind-controlled wine. It's displayed like a rare, precious gem, its label glowing faintly, drawing the gazes of even the most skeptical. At the far side of the room, Buck Williams, Earth's most renowned wine critic, stands confidently, surrounded by a group of eager alien patrons. His face is the picture of composure, though his heart beats faster than usual. He's never been in the presence of so many different species, but tonight, he is in his element. In front of him, a table is lined with the finest wines, each bottle gleaming in the soft light of the dome. With a calm gesture, Buck picks up a glass of the 2024 vintage, the one that had started it all. The wine is clear and pristine, the rich ruby liquid catching the light as he swirls it carefully. The aliens watch him with intense curiosity, their various sensory appendages stretching forward, eager to see how a human expert will taste their own creation. Buck takes a careful sip, letting the wine settle on his tongue, the familiar explosion of complex flavors wrapping around him. The wine is smooth, with layers of dark berries, oak, and a strange, almost ethereal aftertaste. He pauses for a moment, considering the subtle complexity of it, and then smiles. A truly unique experience, he announces to his alien audience, his voice carrying easily in the quiet of the room. This is a wine that evolves with every sip. The more you taste it, the more you discover. It lingers, it transforms. The aliens, intrigued by his words, lean closer. Some whisper to each other in languages Buck cannot understand, while others, drawn in by his praise, take their own sips. There's a murmur of approval, a gentle ripple of excitement spreading through the crowd. Buck continues, adding a layer of mystery to his words, the complexity, the depth. It's unlike anything I've encountered before. Almost as though it changes you as you drink it. At his side, the alien representatives, creatures with shimmering, crystalline skin, nod in agreement. They are pleased, but there's something in their eyes that glows with a thrill of competition. They know that this wine, unlike anything humans or aliens have tasted, will be the highlight of the festival. Its allure lies not in its power to control, but in the very mystery of its origin and effect. Behind him, the wine's true origin, the alien's mind-controlled compound, remains a well-kept secret. But the true magic of the wine, Buck realizes, is not in its potential to manipulate. No, it's in the experience of it. The wine doesn't just alter the mind, it opens the door to something deeper. Something that humans and aliens alike are desperate to explore. As the event continues, Buck moves from table to table, engaging in lively conversations with alien dignitaries, tasting the rare vintages they offer, and encouraging them to try the mind-controlled wine for themselves. The alien races, fascinated by the idea that this wine could transcend their understanding, begin to ask questions about its origins. Where did you find such a thing? What planet produces this type of elixir? How did you perfect its aging process? The questions flood in, and Buck answers with the practiced ease of a man who has spent years speaking about wine with every possible kind of person. It's a gift from the stars, he says with a smile, making it sound like a grand mystery. A rare phenomenon that came from the farthest reaches of space, crafted by beings with knowledge beyond our own. It's a wine that speaks to something in the soul, something primal. It connects us all. The room fills with an excited buzz. More aliens join the tasting tables, eager to experience the enigmatic wine that has sparked so much curiosity. Buck watches them, a small, satisfied smile playing across his lips. This is more than just a wine tasting. It's a cultural exchange, a convergence of ideas, of civilizations. Humans and aliens alike are now bound by this shared experience, this mystery. And as the night stretches on, the festival transforms into a living testament to the success of Jack Wilder's new proposal, an intergalactic trade that began with a failure, but now blooms into something far more lucrative. The mind-controlled wine has become more than a tool of subjugation. It has become the most coveted luxury in the galaxy. A drink that unites, that captivates, that opens minds and hearts to new possibilities. The crowd swells, the laughter grows louder, and the scent of wine fills the air as the festival enters its final hours. There are no mind-controlled minds tonight, only exhilarated, curious beings, all intoxicated by the mystery of the wine, the allure of the unknown, and the promise of new, uncharted experiences that lie ahead. The Intergalactic Wine and Spirits Festival has become a legend, its allure growing with each passing day. What started as a modest gathering now hums with the energy of something far greater across roads of civilizations, cultures, and tastes. The festival's fame has spread across the cosmos, its magnetic pull drawing beings from all corners of the galaxy. Their ships, sleek and shimmering with the glow of distant stars, now fill the skies above Earth's cities, descending with a hum and a whisper, carrying guests from planets unknown. The air around the festival grounds vibrates with the soft thrum of alien technology, while the ground beneath the feet of the visitors is paved with stones as old as Earth itself. The towering domes and crystal-clear walls of the festival complex shimmer like liquid glass, their surfaces reflecting the diverse faces of alien species beings whose very forms defy earthly comprehension. Their eyes gleam with curiosity, their tentacles, or tendrils swaying gently, their bodies encased in shifting, iridescent shells. They come from far-flung stars, each species with its own way of seeing the universe, each with its own culture, yet they are united by the mysterious allure of Earth's wines. In one corner of the festival hall, a group of Zorians stands transfixed before a long row of bottles. Their elongated, multi-eyed faces shift and shimmer as they taste the wine, their translucent, skin-like surfaces glowing faintly with every sip. The Zorians are creatures of high intellect, their neural patterns complex and deep, capable of understanding the subtle balance of flavors in ways no human could. They savor the wine with an analytical precision, their eyes narrowing in appreciation. This, one Zorian begins, his voice low and melodic, reverberating with an unmissed,